Welcome to the Philip Koerper Show. This is episode 17, August 1st. I've got a lot of great stuff for you today. I want to get right into it. I want to go a little recap of kind of the daily events here. Paul Manafort's in trouble. Bob Mueller is organizing a team to go against him, and the trial is beginning. Paul Manafort was a campaign manager for Donald Trump, lavish lifestyle. Is now accused of doing all these things before he was working for Trump. This really has nothing to do with Trump, has nothing to do with Russian collusion. It's just Paul Manafort's lifestyle, apparently, and his lavish lifestyle, and some lies and deceit going on there. Could this affect President Trump? Well, they're squeezing him. Bob Mueller is squeezing Paul Manafort very hard, going after him on these allegations of criminal activity, and before he even was working for Donald Trump, in hopes that Paul Manafort will spill the beans on Donald Trump and give Bob Mueller some incriminating evidence. I want to switch to the story on Facebook. Facebook is finding sophisticated efforts to disrupt United States politics and removes 32 accounts. These 32 accounts were removed because they involved a coordinated political behavior and appeared to be fake. Facebook did not, this is according to a Fox News article, Facebook did not explicitly say that the effort was aimed at influencing the midterm elections. My opinion on this is, why in the world isn't Facebook just being a platform where we can all post things as long as nothing's criminal? Just post things on Facebook, kind of like AT&T, a telephone line, a media platform where we can exchange ideas. No, but now they're into policing everything and trying to get rid of hate speech, whatever that is. However you want to define that. And so anyhow, I find this really frustrating. I've got friends who are really not who are not friends with Mark Zuckerberg, feel like he stole it from those brothers, the idea, when he was at Harvard, and really isn't running the country very well, and really not running the company very well. So anyhow, I just wanted to mention that. Yesterday, I had an interesting conversation with a friend, and he's a new citizen. He's really excited, and I was talking to him. Oh, you get to, this is going to be in November. This is going to be your first opportunity to vote, and maybe even in some primaries. And he is really pretty excited. And then the conversation led into California, and I'm saying, yeah, it's amazing, how many illegal aliens can vote in California. He goes, illegal aliens can't vote in California. I'm like, well, yeah, they can. And he goes, oh, no, they can't. And so I looked up a Snopes article, okay? So now Snopes is no conservative website, okay? And so the Snopes fact check is, did California pass a law allowing undocumented immigrants to vote in federal election? Now it's a mixture, is their official rating on this. And they say, what is true is California has implemented a law providing for automatic voter registration of motorists who obtain renew a driver's license. And so this is Assembly Bill 60. And this was back and it was reported in February 2016 that 605 undocumented immigrants who live in California were granted driver's license. So basically, these illegal aliens in California can now get driver's license. Up to the estimate, Jerry Brown, Democrat governor of California, says that, expect a total of 1.4 million illegal aliens can get California driver's license right now. And the thing is, when you get a California driver's license, you automatically are registered to vote. Automatically. Yes, there is an opt-out thing, but we know most Americans are not really good at opting out of things. They'll just get their driver's license, and then they're automatically, you just have to check a few boxes, to get your driver's license. and then you're automatically enrolled to vote. You are a registered voter. And so the thing is, of course, one of the questions, so why Scope said this is false, is that California has not implemented a law authorizing non-citizens to vote in federal elections. Now, there is some confusion because recently a California school board said that that illegal aliens can vote. Okay, so that's in San Francisco. No surprise there. Did pass a ballot proposition allowing some non-citizens to register to vote in local school board elections. So the liberals are moving, of course, to undocumented workers or illegal aliens to vote. Now they're allowing them to vote in local school board elections. Okay. So now Jerry Brown, and a lot of people were very open about this. You are an illegal alien, you get a driver's license in California, and you are automatically registered to vote. But the technicality there is that there is a box that you say that, like where you're born and if you're a citizen in the United States. Okay. So a lot of people are very, very worried that people will either lie and say they're a citizen when they're not a citizen. Okay, maybe there's some pressure to say that they're citizens. They want California to recognize them as a citizen. Maybe they think that if I mark this box, that I have this driver's license and it says I'm a citizen of the United States, then I will be a citizen of the United States, even though I'm an illegal alien, I snuck into the country. Or many got work visas. I know people personally who've come to this country to work, or actually most of them to be students, students. They're either kicked out of school, they don't finish school, and then they stay. They don't go. And there's really no one who's going to kick them out of the country unless they get caught doing illegal activity. And I know people who just pay $10,000 or something like that, or other people. I hear stories of paying money for a sham wedding so they could be citizens of the United States. $10,000. So anyhow, this is really a pretty scary thing. And so basically, the argument here is that up to a million people in California have California driver's licenses, and all you need to vote in California is your driver's license. That's all you need. And you do need to say that you're a citizen, but you don't have to prove it. You don't have to prove that you're a citizen. All you have to do is mark the box. I also hear reports of the people in the voting areas do not even check people for their driver's licenses. I also went on the California website, and it goes on and on and on about how to do voter registration drives and everything like this. We all know that the Democrats really love to do voter registration drives where they go through the neighborhoods and then they just sign up people to vote. There's a lot of pressure. They're not supposed to pay them any money. And all you do is mark a few boxes and you just mark you're a citizen even if you're not. And guess what? You get to vote. It's so very easy. Okay, so it's ironic that the left is so bizarrely freaked out over Russian interference in our elections. And yes, we are having people who are voting in elections who are not even citizens of the United States. That is very frustrating. And this fact in California, no one can prove to me that none of these illegal aliens have voted. And now we actually do have evidence of people who are illegal aliens in California and they voted. So we have evidence that some of these million illegal aliens who have driver's licenses in California voted. Okay? So you can see why the Republicans, you can see why we want voter ID. We don't want to hamper people to vote, but just having a voter ID, which you can get for free, like here in Kentucky. You don't even have to have a driver's license, just get a voter ID. Which reminds me, in California, I went on their website yesterday to register to vote. Oh, very easy. Just get on there, give them my California driver's license. If I had one, I didn't register. And all I have to do is say I'm a citizen. Presto, I am on the rolls. Okay, to register to vote in California. Okay, extremely easy for an undocumented worker, an illegal alien to register to vote in California and to vote. It's super easy. And you could see why there's a lot of frustration. What is going on with California? Ronald Reagan was the governor of California years ago in the 70s. And guess what? Or the 60s maybe. California used to be a Republican state. It's purely Democratic now. It's super blue. What's going on? Is it all these illegal aliens? I don't know. But the Democrats do love to court the Hispanics. And as a Republican, I think Hispanics have a huge reason to vote Republican, being so family-oriented as a group, and spiritual and religious too. You would think they're not pro-abortion kind of people overall. So anyhow, I find that really fascinating. Okay, I want to jump to this idea, interesting studying and talking about China. Okay, a little known fact, something I didn't even know until yesterday, is that China has passed us in the GDP department. Okay, China's economy is larger than the United States economy. And this is really, I think, getting very worrisome. Very worrisome. For the reason is that as their economy continues to grow, they are going to be an incredible player in geopolitics. They are no friend of the United States. Okay, so China, first of all, their government runs everything. I have friends who are worried about Chinese-made smartwatches and cell phones because the Chinese government run those companies. Very easy to spy on us. I don't want to be paranoid, but I mean, China has really growing. So I read this article written it's at theconversation.com. I read this art. Let's see, I'm trying to look for the author, and that must be at the bottom. Yikes. I can't find the author, but the title of the report is Boycott China and Avoid a Trade War. Oh, I found the author. Amit Rijit Batabayal. Yikes, I toasted that. Professor of Economics, Rochester Institute of Technologies. He's making the argument of China and how they steal almost close to $1 trillion of tech from us. And they don't respect copyrights. When they joined the WHO, Bill Clinton had them join the WHO. They had to kind of go along with stuff, and they had to buy some more American stuff. Okay, I think it's coming to the point, and I am a free trader, but we do have enemies, countries that are really threatening the United States, and by doing a lot of trade with them, we will make them very rich, and we will get rich too. Okay, but boycotting China, this author suggests that the Western nations not sell them like Western cars or things like this. They're stealing a lot of that technology. And of course, this would hurt some American car manufacturers like Cadillac, sells a lot of cars in China. And so anyhow, he brings up this notion, and this is a concern of mine also, that China, with its growing economy, can be actually turned into a military threat of the United States, and we need to address it. I know during the election of 2016, Donald Trump spoke out against China and was worried about China, was worried about this. And so I wanted to bring that up because I think that really is a concern. I think I wanted to read the last part of this article. He talks about a boycott. He says, when we think of a boycott, we usually imagine consumers avoiding a particular product. So there's boycotts that have had varying levels of success. A corporate boycott of a nation is much less common. To the best of my knowledge, a corporate boycott of a nation along the lines suggested here has not been attempted before. Historically, boycotts against a nation have typically been designed to persuade consumers to not purchase products from a nation, such as the anti-apartheid movement or the more controversial boycott of Israel. What I am proposing is a country boycott by companies located in multiple nations, and hence it's not possible to directly gauge the likelihood of success based on past actions. So anyhow, he said, would China retaliate? Perhaps, but the cost would be high if the United States were to successfully organize a boycott involving companies in several dozen countries. So really, what the point is here is China and their economy, and they're stealing technology and intellectual property from us, estimated to be $600 to $800 billion a year. I mean, this is a really big problem. So anyhow, I wanted to bring that up. Even though I am a free trader, I understand that going toe-to-toe with countries sometimes is necessary. Now, we've done this with Cuba, okay, and we continue to punish Cuba, okay. But the Chinese are, they're very industrious country, very up and coming, and they're heavily involved in the United States. They're heavily involved in getting educated here. Their lobbyists are very popular and powerful in the United States. So it should be a really big concern. I wanted to close in talking about playing. And I heard a podcast this morning on my run about being joyful and finding time to play. It reminds me of a quote from Brigham Young that he said, 8 hours work, 8 hours sleep, 8 hours recreation. I love that. This really has come easy to me in my life because my dad was just always played. I mean, as a matter of fact, I don't think he really worked very much. He just always seemed to be playing. He was very playful. We would play ping pong together a lot, croquet. After my parents got divorced when I was young, he would come into town and visit. He would stay at the Holiday Inn, the Holodome, and they had video games in there. Video games were just coming out. We would play Pong. We would play Pac-Man together. We would play Putt-Putt together. My dad would just love to play. And so playing has always been a big part of my life. I thought about that. I mean, at work, I like to be playful. I need to do my work. But I do enjoy joking with people, playing around with them, finding the joy in all that we do. I think that's really a great way of enjoying life. I do want to close with a funny story of how my dad was so playful. Is that I remember, I forgot, I was in my 20s during college, and I was going to school in Utah, but lived with my mom during the summers in Kansas City. And my dad lived in Phoenix, Arizona. And so I was connecting flights in Denver, Colorado, and I had a little time before my connecting flight, and so I immediately sought out an arcade so I could play a video game in the arcade. And I was standing next to this other guy waiting to play this Pac-Man video game, and I turned and looked, and it was my dad. So my dad was connecting through Denver, going somewhere. I was unaware that he was traveling that day. And didn't keep a lot of contact with my dad, but we're standing next to each other in an out-of-town airport at a video game in an arcade, trying to play the same video game. It was hilarious. It was really fun. My dad really freaked out, and so did I. So anyhow, I love Brigham Young talking about 8 hours of recreation every day. I think that's awesome. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. This is the Philip Koerper Show. I'm Philip Koerper, copyright 2018. Thanks. Bye.